Yeah.
have access to that,
Yeah.
then either a steamer or a medium dryer, which I know everyone, I keep saying a dryer because I know everyone has a hooded dryer in their salon.
Yep.
So it's just the easiest way, instead of saying, hey, it's a pandemic, why don't you go buy yourself a steamer? But if you have a steamer, then yes, that's what you should be using.
Cool.
Brenda, Paul is asking, what is the normal, what's the new normal processing time? What's that appointment layout for you?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. And I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not Massachusetts. We're based out of Massachusetts. So I am not sure what they're going to tell us yet. I don't know, because I know we've got some friends here from New Hampshire. We have some from Maine. So some of the states that are going back, they're telling you can't blow dry. So I'm not going to be sad about that. Sorry, friends. Bring your own towel, wrap it up, and get the hell out.
But your guest is coming in. You're clarifying them. You're doing a haircut, right? Mm-hmm. So then the hair is only damp, right? And then you're applying the color, and then processing under the steamer for 12 to 15 minutes, like that. Paul, does that help? And then you would rinse the color off, and then, well, if you can blow dry, then you could blow dry, or now you can just set them out. So you're booking, if you were booking 30 minutes to apply the color, 45 minutes to process, and 45 minutes to cut and blow dry. Now you're combining that because you're doing the clarifier, the haircut, color application, steam for 15, rinse and blow dry, and any finish work that needs to happen for that. So you're looking at an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, under normal circumstances. Now, adding what would probably need to be some time to, wipe everything down and all of that, you may be adding 15 minutes on to something like that.
Right.
Now, if you have the luxury of assistants or, a front desk, then we were lucky in that fashion that we already had the whole system set up before we closed down. So it was just making more of a show of everything we were spraying. And yes, we are very clean here, where before nobody was really all that concerned. Maybe not that they weren't concerned, they just kind of took it for granted that they came in and we were cleaning everything in between. But again, that's the luxury of having assistants or front desk. If not, you have to build that all into the timing sequence of what you're going to do. I would say whatever you were doing before, condense it and then add about 15 minutes.
I could say.
And you have a question?
Oh, I just wanted to share that I've stopped double booking in 1999. So I can just share my experience that that's what I built my business on. So I know if some of you are having to switch and are nervous about it, it will work. So it can work, I should say.
Yeah, it'll work if you work it, if you do it properly. But really using any of the tools that you can for time is, that's paramount. You need to make sure that you're not, processing for 35 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, because that's all time wasted, especially if you couldn't slot somebody in between. Then, and none of us are suggesting that you should waste time, burn time, and, that's not what anybody wants.
Can I just put one other spin on that?
For sure.
So we're talking about how we can save time for ourselves in the salon, but we use it at our salon as a marketing tool.
Right.
Clients don't want to sit for 45 minutes. So I have social media posts about it. We talk to our clients about it. At our first initial consultation, we say we color a little differently here and you'll process for 15 minutes versus 45 minutes. No one is sad.
No.
They have more money than time. They want to be in and out. And it's actually kind of comical because we'll have two clients under the steamer together who are talking. And if it's a newer client, they'll say, oh, isn't this great? And the older client will say, oh yeah, I forgot that I used to sit for 45 minutes. It's it's something that you come to appreciate, but it is part of value added service. So you're cutting down on your time, but you can charge more for it. It's a great trick if not everybody's not doing it.
Kia has, let's see, unmute you, my friend.
So I had a similar situation today, and I was actually going to talk about it live later on my own personal live, but about this subject. So I decided to get my floors redone because I wanted to build a studio. Brenda, we talked about that earlier. Well, my guy did come in, right? And I said to him, well, I don't like the floor that's already there. I said, what would be the difference in sanding down what I have and restaining the floors that I have versus putting something new, laminate slots on top? And he said, so he gave me a price quote for staining it. And I said, so when he realized that, he says, well, you can always just cover it too. And then when you leave, you can take it with you. So I was like, he was like, so if you ever sell your house, you can take your laminate. So I was like, well, which one is less time and effort for you? Which one is less laborious? And he said, to cover it with something would be less, but his price quote was higher. So I said, well, I thought you said that it was less work to put down the laminate on top and not disturb the floor. He says, I did. He says, it's less work for me. I didn't say it was less money for you. And I thought that was interesting because just because I think we get confused and we allow our customers to run in the realm of the shorter the time, the less the money, when they're not really paying for our time, they're paying for our expertise to be able to do it in that amount of time. So I lived that today where he was like, yeah, it'll take me less time, but it'll cost you more money, no matter what time it took me. And I think that we should have that mentality going forward, that even though we found creative ways or chemical, ways to work with our tools and chemistry to make it work better for us, it doesn't mean we have to cut our prices. That's actually the luxury of it, because we're giving them their time back also.
Agreed. Thanks, Key. I do often say this in classes or to clients if I need to. I'm like, you pay more for a direct flight. Everybody's got a microwave. Everybody has more money than time. So just because something takes me less time, like Kia had just said, it doesn't mean that it's less money. And I want us to get out of this scarcity mindset. So I'm glad that you said that, Kia. And I'm looking at the comments, the chats on the side. Paul, I want you to stay with me. Right now, we are at a premium. People are sending me messages, will you come to my house? I will pay you quadruple. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But this scarcity mindset that we have is because we start taking financial responsibility for our clients, because nobody comes in and says, you know what, I got a shit ton of money to blow. I'm going to buy everything that you tell me. I want a full foil. I want this, I want that, and the other thing. Everybody, they understand how to manipulate us a little, whether it's purposeful or not, because they start telling us about, Jimmy might be losing his job. And then how are the 15 kids going to go to hockey practice and cheerleading? And I'm never going to get, to Europe this year if this keeps up, if I don't. And the nails are done and they're carrying a Louis bag. And we're like, well, I can just give you a few highlights for nothing. No. So coming back in off of this, anybody that doesn't have money or lost their job isn't coming. So your job is not to get emotional when somebody comes in and maybe tells you that the husband did lose the job. Because what normally happens is, oh, well, I'll just give her a discount today. Well, then, so now she's hurting and you're hurting. Why would you do that?
Right.
If people that really don't have money don't come, or it's not up to you to decide how people spend their money. I buy shoes that I certainly don't need, that I wait until my husband has left the house before I drag those puppies in from my trunk. Because did I need another pair of black boots? I certainly did not. But I bought those things anyway because I wanted them.
Yep.
So don't decide what people should spend their money on. And if they want highlights, they want this, they want that, it's not for you to decide. You have things for sale. Your job is to sell it, not give it away. Because the things that we have been doing have put us in a position that we have been hit so hard. And I know some hairdressers that are doing hair in the kitchen because it's a difference between eating and not eating. So I'm not judging anything that anybody is doing right now because I know people have to survive. But I don't want us to go back with that scarcity mindset and counting everybody's nickels and everybody's. We are in high demand, so I suggest you take advantage of it. I'm not saying gouge people and
Right.
charge them, but
Right.
people are, some of my clients have missed 3 appointments at this point.
I know.
So I'm not going to, they're not getting charged the same anyway. It's going up because now I'm using more color. I'm using more developer. My clients don't want me to go out of business. And if I keep behaving like that and I keep giving people discounts, I'm going to be out of business. And nobody wants that.
Nope.
How does everybody feel about that?
Very good.
Woo!
Thank you. Woo!
I get off my soapbox now. But seriously, no more of that scarcity mindset and, oh, well, it's a tough time to go up on prices.
I'm okay.
When's it a good time? Wait till the entire world wins the lottery? That hasn't happened yet. And they're still coming. I mean, people are, they're standing in front of the State House screaming they want their hair cut. Yeah, that's going to be extra. No.
Ooh, what's he drinking?
Water. Imagine. And no caffeine either. Woo.
Water out of a wine glass. Awesome.
'Cause I am fancy, damn it.
She's fancy. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Can't you tell how fancy I am?
Seltzer water.
Seltzer, that's right. I'll have wicked heartburn after this is over. All right, I'm just looking in the comments to see if other people's money is none of my business. That is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Janet, it's a luxury. You either want it or not. And really, I feel like most of our community doesn't even feel like it's a luxury. We're a necessity. That's why so many people are like, no, hair needs to go back to work. This is like this. It's growing. They're sitting around and it's like this, and they don't know how to. Most of them don't know how to cut their bangs. They're like, holy hell, I'm too scared to do that. I'll just wait. Or, you know, take my chances. And then really once they take their chances, how badly are they going to need us then? Then it's extra. You let your kid cut your bangs? Woo! This is going to be even harder. So again, I'm not saying gouge people. I'm not saying take advantage. But what I'm saying is key into what's happening and pay attention and stop feeling guilty about what it is that you do. Just because you love what you do doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid for it.
Right.
It's not a hobby.
Amen.
And we should be able to live the same lives that our clients are living. We should have health insurance. We should be going on vacation. We should be buying boots that we can't afford and not telling our significant other.
Have sick pay, vacation pay.
Right. All of the things that everybody should have. And we are just, I think we're so used to, you know, that it's not okay for us. And why isn't it? Because we're working with serious chemicals. You need to know a lot to do what we do. And I think everybody's figured that out now. Of course, we'll lose a few clients. Some clients will have lost their job, or their 18-year-old now decides, I think I want to go to hair school because this was so easy and fun. So, okay, so we lost a couple. So what that does is it makes an opportunity for us to bring in more clients at a higher pay, because sadly to say, some salons are going to be going out of business. Some are not going to make it through this. And some might make it through for a little while and then they can't do it long term, because we don't know what this is going to look like. And I'm not going to pretend that we do, because again, in Massachusetts, they haven't said when we can open. He's going to say on Monday, I think he's going to talk about phases or whatnot. And, you know, I'm hoping that maybe we're phase 2, phase 3. I want to see other businesses open, see what this looks like, because if we rush to open and then all of a sudden we have to shut down again, or this place turns into